This is the B-Side Book Reviews, and today we are going to take a look at the classic Edgar Rice Burroughs novel, The Mad King. Now, this is not the Mad King. This is Betty and Veronica. But I don't know where my copy of The Mad King is. It vanished. I swear I read it. I just don't know where it is. So I just felt that I needed to be holding a book. And this is the first one I grabbed off the bookshelf. Sometimes you have to improvise. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's take a look at The Mad King. Actually, I don't have any coffee either. So, sometimes you just have to improvise. Young crazy King Leopold of Lutha has escaped from his castle and is out and about, partying down in the wilderness of Lutha, wherever that is. Actually, there's no partying down for our king. As the story goes, the poor guy never had a chance to sit on the throne after his father died, because his evil uncle, the Prince of Blintz, has declared Leopold mentally incompetent and had him locked up. No wonder the king is mad. I'd be pretty pissed off myself. Yes, there are some serious family issues going on with the royals of Lutha, wherever that is. So now, the prince has control of the land. And for added kicks, he puts out a search for our King Leopold. Yes, there's an all-point bulletin out for a tall, young man with a sandy red beard who is said to be traipsing around the countryside. Okay, now this brings us to Barney Custer, an American from Nebraska who is on vacation visiting the homeland of his parents, who just happens to be, well, a young, tall man with a sandy red beard. Okay, you kind of see where this is going. Yeah. Okay, you guessed it. The American is mistaken for the Mad King, and thus our story is born. Barney doesn't know anything about Leopold or his evil uncle. He just wants to get back home to Nebraska. However, after he wrecks his car, Barney meets the lovely and enchanting Princess Emma von der Tann, who of course mistakes him for the Mad King. Who would have thought? Now, because she was betrothed to Leopold when they were only kids, she takes a great interest in Barney, and thus his troubles begin. Now the poor Nebraskan spends the rest of his vacation escaping from the castle, bandits, and of course the evil Prince of Blintz, in order to find our Mad King Leopold and take him back to his rightful throne. However, once he finds our Mad King, the real Leopold, Barney discovers that the young man has no desire to become king. No, doesn't want it. Absolutely not. No, no, no. Unlike our noble Barney from the Cornhusker State, the real Leopold is a trifle of a wimp, a bit of a spoiled brat, and a whole lot of an all-around jerk. Nonetheless, a king is a king, regardless how wimpy and mad he may be. And Barney returns Leopold to his castle and his rightful throne. Unfortunately, Leopold has little appreciation for Barney, and he thinks that the American might want the throne for himself. Not to mention the lovely Emma von der Tann, who has now fallen hopelessly in love with our hero Barney. Wow. Didn't see that one coming, right? Well, fearing for his life, Barney splits the backward little land of Lutha, wherever that is, and returns to his native Nebraska. Lutha. Don't know if I'm even saying that right. Lutha. 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 Honestly, I don't have a clue. Luther. Although everything is fine and dandy in the home of the Cornhuskers, Barney just can't seem to get Emma out of his mind. Apparently, he's quite infatuated, and he goes back to Lutha to see her. Now, for added excitement and a little bit of concern, World War I is gearing up, and Barney fears for the princess's safety. So, he splits the Midwest of the USA for the small Eastern European country of Lutha, wherever that is, to seek his true love. However, instead of the warmth of Emma's passionate kisses, Barney finds himself in all kinds of trouble, which includes facing a firing squad, an angry King Leopold trying to kill him, and there's that World War I thing going on. Not to mention he's in a country that I can't seem to find on any map anywhere. Now, regardless of what hardships be a-brewing, Barney, with his courage, grit, and good old American guts and glory, survives all these issues and meets up once again with the smoking hot Princess Emma von der Tann. But things are not all peaches and cream in Lutha, wherever that is. Hearing of Barney's return, King Leopold is a little jealous, and not to mention pretty pissed off, and the evil cad puts out a hit for our Barney. Fortunately, the king still looks a whole lot like our noble Nebraskan, and after giving the order to whack our hero, Leopold is mistaken for Barney and is killed by one of his own men. Ha! Take that, you whiny little punk! So, the real King Leopold dies, his uncle is hung, the mysterious land of Lutha survives the war, and our American hero gets to bed the smoking hot Princess Emma. Well, he probably does after a grand wedding, I'm assuming. And they all live happily ever after to rule Lutha. Yeah, wherever that is. Okay, they live as happy as an American can be, living in an Eastern European country that apparently didn't exist too long after World War I. Me personally, I would have gone back to Nebraska. At least I know where Nebraska is. I've been to Nebraska. A fine state. Go Cornhuskers. I wish you were back in the Big 12. I really do. Yes. At around 250 pages, this book wasn't bad at all. However, the print was a bit small for old guys like me. And at times, I felt like I was going a bit mad myself. Indeed. There was a lot of plot jammed into these pages, though. And yes, it would make a pretty decent movie. However, I doubt if many would see it. No superheroes, and absolutely no sex. There wasn't even a mention of it. No wonder the king had gone completely mad. Now, I suppose our story could be spiced up a little. After all, Barney and Emma were together quite a bit. Surely there could be a little nookie in the woods added for the cinematic art. Now, actually, I thought there might have already been a movie made of this story. But after a thorough internet search of around, I don't know, 30 seconds, I couldn't find one. So, there you have it. No movie. Now, keeping up with the characters was kind of a problem for me because they didn't have the normal Joe Bob names. And I'm still not sure who all the bad guys were. And of course, I'm still wondering where the heck Lutha is. For some reason, the place sounds familiar. However, Wikipedia has never heard of it. So it must not exist, right? Now, the only thing I found on Google was Lutha, the famous Finnish sportswear, the benchmark for comfort, punctuality, and a contemporary look. Which I'm guessing probably has nothing to do with this story. Just guessing. Now, Barney is a delightful chap, and even though he's a simple man who works at his father's mill back in Nebraska, he speaks the language of Lutha fluently. He's an excellent fighter, excellent swordsman, field general, and has ties with the royal family. And above all, seems to have unbelievable luck. Yes, just your typical Nebraska farm boy. But forget Barney though. I wanted our author to be a bit more descriptive with Emma. Come on, Edgar. Tell us a little more about how the thin gown she wore clung tightly like a glove against her sweaty, curvaceous body, giving little doubt to the womanly gifts the young vixen had in... Okay, you get the idea. Now, the bad guys were bad enough you wanted them dead, and that's always a plus. As for King Leopold himself, I thought Burroughs did a great job with him. Now here's a little pussy boy who turned his back on the very man who saved his hide. Twice! Yeah, I couldn't wait for him to get axed. Oh, yeah, I think the story might have been a little more interesting if Barney got the bitch slapped a little punk just once or twice or maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. But the Nebraska native was just a little too much of a good old boy for such. Bummer. Now, the whole reason I wanted to read this book in the first place is the fact that the cover bears an excellent Frank Frazetta print. Now, I saw this print long before I had ever even heard of the book. The story is pretty interesting, but there was one time I just had to say, yeah, whatever. Kind of like I do whenever I read a Lewis Lamar book. Some things are a little hard to say. Okay, I can see that. The yeah, whatever moment in this story was during the firing squad scene where Barney is mistaken for a spy and lined up with a group of others for a quick execution by way of firing squad. Never fear, for the bullet merely grazes Barney's head, and he is knocked unconscious, believed to be dead. What? Not one of these soldiers in the firing squad can hit a stationary target just a few feet in front of them? Seriously? Good luck with World War I, dudes. You're gonna need it. Maybe this is why Lutha is no longer a country. Nevertheless, it's still a pretty cool book to read. Although not as cool as the Frazetta print on the cover. And as an added bonus, I get to walk around feeling all educated, carrying this Edgar Rice Burroughs novel. However, I have a pretty good feeling poor Edgar never got to see the cool Frazetta print on the cover. The poor guy left us in 1950. Oh, his loss. And this isn't The Mad King, by the way. This is another Edgar Rice Burroughs book I just happened to find. I do, however, have two of these. So that was The Mad King by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I actually like Edgar Rice Burroughs' writing. I've read this one, I've read the first Tarzan, and Princess of Mars. I don't believe he wrote this one. Not Betty and Veronica. At least I don't think he did. Actually, I usually don't like older writers, but I do kind of like his writing. It's kind of easy to read, it's exciting, it's not weighed down with all a bunch of symbolic crap to have to wade through. So do yourself a favor, go out and read an Edgar Rice Burroughs novel. Burroughs. Am I saying that right? Edgar Rice Burroughs novel. How's that? Instead of going to a movie, you can go to a movie next week. By the way, I usually go to movies in the afternoon because I work these weird hours and I can go to the cheaper matinee prices. I went to a 9 p.m. one the other day. My gosh, that movie cost me more than my first rock concert ticket. Good heavens. It was Journey, back in the Steve Perry days. Yeah, I'm showing my age. Anyway, stay at home and read a book. It's cheaper.